Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. Now I want to do a colour along in Fairy Tales and Folklore colouring book by Emily Oberg. Now I have sneaky peek finished that one. That's the nameplate page, and I have started another one but I'm doing that one at my own time. But I wanted to start this one. This one really did feel like autumnal, fall inspired. And I thought I could do it in sections as well. Like just work on the pumpkin for one video, or maybe them two. Maybe this section and then this section. Now the only things that I ever used in this book are Inktense pencils. And I've got the swatch chart out here. And there's some really beautiful colours. I didn't use anything else other than these pencils. And I really like it on this paper. I'm really lucky to have this. I know it is the second print. I will leave in the description the website if I can find it, but if not I'll tag Colour with Claire's video where she announces all the information about it, because it is a reprint. So I just need these just upright and then I can reference them. So I think what I want to do first, I do want to do the pumpkin. I don't know whether to do it with a traditional orange colour. I bought a little mini pumpkin yesterday for the kitchen, so I don't know whether to do that or make it like a green one. I'm thinking just a traditional colours. So start off with my lightest, which would be mango. That is one of the newer colours. I think I'll do that actually. So I'll pop that there. Yep, mango. And I'll just start off with this, and the aqua brushes that I use a Pentel one, and then I've got a very thin Arteza one. So I'll just switch up which one I want to use. I really like this paper. It's really good quality, really nice and thick. It's not white as well, it's an off-white, which I like. So all I want to do with this colour is do a base layer over the whole thing. Now I know that you could put all your 2 or 3 colours down at once and blend them out like that, but I just prefer to do it like this. It's definitely not quicker, and you have to wait for the previous colour to dry. I just prefer doing this, and like I said, this is one of the new colours. I lost a nail last night, so if you notice, I lost a nail, and my nail appointment's only for next week. It's a week today. So I'm going to be nailless. I'm hoping I don't break this one in the meantime. So I'm not being overly fussy with this. I just want to get that colour down, because it is just the first layer. And I really like these illustrations. I didn't think I would, because I did have the other book. I got rid of it ages ago. I forgot the name of it, but like these, it's almost like chopper, so you can colour with the Inktense really easy. Now I'm not sure if with coloured pencil I'd be able to get the same effect. So just a nice layer of that mango all over. And then I'll use the bigger of the 2 brushes. So even though it is still a fine tip, it's not as fine as the other one. So wet that. I'm going to take the excess off and then work in the sections that are here. I'm not going to go this way. And that's how you'll get it as smooth as possible. And I do want to keep this brush pretty wet, because you'll notice that the colour doesn't blend out as well. So dipping in again, just taking that excess off. Oops. So even though I'm doing this autumn themed page, it says it's 14 degrees out there, but when the sun's out it's a lot warmer. We're having weird weather in the UK at the minute. It's like a late summer. Water again, clean it off. And then for the stalk, I'm going to go for a darker green colour. Just go traditional on this one. Although yesterday when I was looking at pumpkins in the shop, there were black ones, which I wish I bought one now. They were like £1 each, only really small. So I'll go over everything. Now you need to let that completely dry before you do the next layer. So for the next colour, I was using this. Is it Fern, I think? So we've got this shade here, because I do want it to be lighter first. Yeah, we'll go for Fern. And then we can darken it up as well. I think I will colour the octopus in the jar, because I might as well while I'm waiting for this to dry. I will say it does take me a little bit longer using Inktense pencils. I could just use watercolours, but the only thing with watercolours is you use a lot more water, and I'm nervous about destroying this book. I haven't even done a background. I haven't even thought of a background for this. I could use distress ink, but very light shades, so that the Inktense pencils still show through. I'm not sure yet. Depends what the colour scheme turns out like, I suppose. If I've got anything that matches the colours. Well, this might just be a boot that I don't do backgrounds in, because I've never done that before. I definitely didn't think I would like it as much as I did, but now that I see it in person, it's quickly becoming one of my favourites. So completely clean the brush off. Take off any excess. I'll start up here. See, so it is quite a light green, this one. So the colour will still poke through when I add the darker green. If you're a bit nervous about using Inktense, use a smaller brush. I find a smaller brush is easier. So I'll pull that colour all the way around. And just let the excess sit there. It might be slightly darker than there. So the octopus, I'm thinking we'll start off with fuchsia. That is my favourite pink out of this set. I'll sharpen it just a tad, just so I can get a little bit more precise. And again, I'm going to go over the whole area. I will switch over and use my smaller brush this time. So a nice thin layer of this. I think with the jars, I could possibly go over with maybe a pencil or a really watered down watercolour that make it look like it's transparent maybe. I've not done that in a very, very long time. But maybe I could try it with just this smaller one and see how it looks, and then do it. And I could do light effects with the star as well, around the mushrooms. Yeah, that might be interesting. That will be literally a whole video by itself, I think. And then we've got, oh, but there's a candle, isn't there? So we could do a light effect that's coming down all on these. But I'll have to add that at the end. Yeah, I can add that at the end with just normal pencils over the top, I think. So we'll get all this top section activated first. Even though I'm trying to be quick, I want to stay in the lines, because it is difficult to move Inktense once it's started drying. It's sort of there, see here. just like that. I'm thinking for the liquid that's surrounding it, I'm going to go with the turquoise. I did think about a purple, but I could go with like the mint. No, it's either teal green or teal leaf this, because I've wrote it in wrong. I think it's teal leaf. Let me see if I can find it. Or mallard green. Actually, I think I'll use that one. That's slightly lighter. It's 1 to 30. I'll use that. Did the camera not even pick that up then? There you go. Let's go over all this. Sorry, it's boring doing the first layer. Once you get to the second layer, it's a bit of fun, but it's definitely worth me showing you and seeing how much of the pencil that I'm putting down, because it is really a light layer. Yeah, I've noticed with these, if you are using hard pressure and you're putting really hard lines, it's difficult to blend it out and you'll be stuck with them lines everywhere. Yeah, try and be light-handed. I'll use both brushes this time, the smaller one to get it in these little bits, and then the bigger one for the larger areas. They do last for a long time, these pencils as well. I don't think I've ever bought it. I've got backups of certain colours that I really like, but I don't think I've ever used a colour up yet, which is great because they're not cheap. So start off in these smallest areas. Yeah, so it is as light as I wanted. It's really like an ocean blue, this. So quickly before that starts drying, switch over brushes. Just the bigger one, just to make life easier. Now, I was planning on doing the glass next, but with that aqua colour not being dry, that might be a bit of a pain. So if I do the cork colour, there's one called Baked Earth. Here we go. Baked Earth. So I'll do that one in that shade. See, that's dry now. We can go over that next. Let's pop that back. I think I'll stick with the larger of the two this time. Just like that. Right, so we used mango for the pumpkin. I nearly said pineapple then. So let's look at the chart. So we've got mango, it's the burnt orange. I think they either use tangerine or orange sorbet. Orange sorbet looks quite nice, and that again, that's one of the new ones. So yeah, we'll stick with that. Sharpen it again, and then I do want to be careful because this aqua colour is still, yeah, it's still damp. So I want the top to be the darkest, And then the bottom, yeah, that is still damp, so I'm going to have to be really careful. I don't want to do like a straight line across. Maybe do this one a bit further down. Just make them all different. Just like that. And then same thing with the bottom, but we could probably colour a little bit more. Just being really rough and random with it. And then the lines down the centre, I want to go either side of them, both sides. Medium to hard pressure now, because I don't mind if there's any lines left over, because I'm purposely putting them down. And normally, if I was doing this in my own time, the book would be all different directions for me to get where I need to be, but I'll try my best to keep it just in this position. No, I'm not going to do the very edges, we'll leave them empty. So, and I want to keep that centre the brightest. So in between every line, I'm going to clean my brush off. So it's sort of clean water in the middle, and then you're pushing forward to blend out that colour. This is the exact way that I've done it on the other pages, and it's turned out really nice. So same thing again, clean water in the centre, and then start blending out your darker shade. I'm taking off excess as well off the brush. Clean water again, fill the centre. You see it sort of bleeds into each other. I'm not going to leave it like that yet. I'm going to go over it one more time. So clean the brush off again. Just want to tidy up any of these edges. And that's ready for the third layer, because I think I will do 3 layers on this. But I'll be able to do the start now as well. So I used Fern last time. Now this one's called light green. Why it's called light green, I do not know. Let's find it. Or did I write it down at a different name? Because that doesn't make sense to me. Or is it light olive? No, light green. I'm just not seeing it. Maybe I have wrote it down wrong. It must be light olive. Get a nice tip on that. So I want to go around. I think I'll go around. Let's just go around this one edge for now. And see how that looks. But maybe just do it a bit thicker. Oops. think the camera was shouting at me then saying you're too close. And then just pull this colour around. That should be okay. Now this will be awkward to activate. So we'll start here. That's not as dark as I thought it would be, I'll be honest. Constantly keep taking excess off as well, off the brush, and constantly going out the lines apparently. So I might have to do a background on this, I don't know. But it's getting there, slowly. So the octopus is dry now, so that's what I mean. You can work in sections, you can more or less continuously keep adding colours. So thistle or sugar plum? Sugar plum, because that's a new shade. If you wondered as well, it's a swordfish very point electric sharpener that I'm using. It wasn't cheap, I used birthday money to buy that, but it's one of the best things for doing art. Not having to stop and start, it's just stick your pencil in there and it's sharp in a second. So I won't make it's not bottom side this, is it? It's just further down, the darkest. And then make right underneath where the tentacles are the darkest as well. Like that. Switch over to this smaller brush now. Make sure it is clean. Do the tentacles first. Constantly take away any excess on your brush. Like that. I'll clean my brush again and then start at the lightest area and then work our way down. And just let that do its thing. Let it go where it wants to go. So it is about an hour later, if not a little bit longer. I had to run to the pharmacy and pick up medicine for my daughter. Anyway, so it should definitely be dry now. So let's work on the turquoise side. I'm thinking green aqua or sea breeze would be nice ones. Sea breeze, again it's these new colours that I'm really liking. So for the top, just want to add a little bit, just a line there. Don't want that too dark. For the bubbles, I'm not going to worry about going over them, because I'll end up going over them with a white acrylic paint pen, probably a Posca pen. But I do want to make these sides a little bit deeper. doing this side. I mentioned the weather before, but it's so weird when you're in the sun. It's lovely and warm, and then I've just been at the back of the house having dinner. It's really cold. So I just ran upstairs, shut all the windows that I had open when I was doing all the cleaning. Yeah, it's freezing up here. Hence the tracky top. Here comes my dog. She's followed me up. So I'm hoping that that's going to be dark enough. I might have to do another layer of a slightly darker colour. If I did, it'd probably be dark indigo or sea blue. Not having a treat if that's why I ran up. She doesn't like the electric sharpener as well, so as soon as I use that, she'll run back downstairs. This dog has got 4 beds in this house now. How spoilt. So yeah, stick with the smaller brush. She's got 4 beds, but she's just gone in my room and she'll sit on the floor. I was going to continue that, but I'll end up putting my hand in it. So I'll go work on this side. I'll push that colour back. Just like that. Clean my brush off. So I'll just wet in this area with clean water, just so there's not a horrible line there. Clean it off again. It's difficult to do at this angle. That should be enough. So I want to deepen that cork up now. So I used baked earth, so maybe natural brown or willow. Natural brown. I'll make it dark underneath and then on top like that. Make sure my brush has got all that blue off it. I probably should have done like glass before I went around that area, because now I'm going to have to wait. Now I want a deep green. I've had nothing but trouble with this colour, iron green. Constantly keep snapping. Now I've used my crank, there she goes running downstairs, crank sharpener, electric sharpener, hand thingy sharpener, and it just keeps snapping on me. Maybe I've dropped it and forgotten that I've done it. I'm not, see, it just snaps. It's murder, and I haven't got a backup of this one either. I'm not going to go around the whole area, I'm just going to randomly add in this. Oh no! No! So there is going to be a background on this now, because I just stuck my finger in it. Oh, it's not the end of the world. I'll just have to do it like a distress ink background. So be careful. I want to randomly, that's what I was saying, put this darker green colour just here and there, because it's very temperamental. Honestly, when I'm not filming, I stay in the lines really beautifully. It blends out dead nice, and then as soon as you hit record, that's it. I'm going to take any excess that I've got and put it at the bottom here. Just like that. Right, the orange, I do think I'm going to go ahead and either burnt orange or mid vermilion, and I'm leaning more towards, let me just check the pencil, mid vermilion. Right, I'm going to tilt the book ever so slightly because I'm just making too many mistakes. Yeah, that's still wet. Yes, I've stuck my finger in that, so it's lucky that the blue's not gone everywhere. Ooh. I'll go straight down the centre. I'm nervous my hand's going to go in that blue again. Actually, I might as well use both of them. If I use the burnt, what is it, burnt orange around these areas. And then maybe add a little bit just here and there. Just like that. And then with the bigger of the two brushes, just make sure it's clean. Just do the same thing. Just do one side at a time, I think. Clean my brush off. Do the opposite side. And again, then do these top bits and bottom bits. I hope that makes sense. Probably not. I'll pull that colour up and down. That's quite nice. Let's see what it dries like that now. I'm going to try and tackle the glass bit. Well, I'm a little bit nervous. I have got as well the Derwent Inktense, the Graphitint, because I think with the greys in the Inktense, they are just a bit too dark. There's no, I mean, I could use a light hand, but with let's say That's classed as cool brown. These look dark as well, to be honest. What about that one? Cloud grey, but almost looks metallic, that to me. I don't know. Let's give that one a go. It definitely looks metallic. So I've coloured the whole thing now, so I just have to carry on. I'm committed. Now what I might have to do, I am going to have to put a background in here now, unfortunately. But if I wanted to go over the top with like a light wash of watercolour over the vase part, it might make that run. So I might have to do that first, because ideally I'd do background all together. I'm undecided. Let's get this activated first, and then I will leave this to dry like for a while. I might even come back to it this evening and finish this portion off, because I really do just want to make sure that it's completely dry before even messing around with anything on top. It's not too bad. That colour, it is a little bit metallic here. Are they all like that though? No. And then add like the highlights and whatnot. So I've done that part of the colouring that I think, I mean, I could make that a little bit darker, I suppose. The purple pink, dark purple, and just do like a line to deepen it up there and completely go out the lines. I don't know what's wrong with me. I know I really zoomed out there. I've just added just one colour. I'm just making it a tiny bit darker. I'm thinking that if I use a really light distress ink, I just don't want to go over these really nice colours that I've already got down. So it does have to be a really light shade. Like something a little bit neutral almost. Like we'll go with everything else in the illustration. I think if I start whacking a load of watercolour on it, I'm risking on making it bow, and I really don't want to do that. Whoops. Yeah, that's like the lightest colours that I can find that I own. So I'm gonna let it completely dry. I have a thing. There's a couple of different things I could use. I have to do something now with this background. I can't even just put white paint on to cover it because the paper is like an off-white shade. Or maybe I'll just leave it and then worry about the background at the end. Maybe that's more sensible. And then I can just fill it in all at once. I can keep these colours out though as a reference to maybe these are the ones I'm going to use. I can finish off the details once this is dry. I can use my white Posca just to add details here and there. And I think the next video I'll work on, well I don't know, it depends on the day, but I'll work on that in a video, and then the background will be like the final part. But I do quite like how it's turning out, so I'll come back once it's completely dry. I have come up with an idea. Now, I don't want to do all of the background straight away. Alexa, stop. yeah, I don't want to do the whole background straight away because I'll end up reactivating it when I'm activating these pencils. It's not listening to me today. I lost train of thought now. Yeah, I've got these little tools. I remember this was ages ago, years ago. I watched Colouring Chat with Sammy use these, and she was using them with the distress ink, and I could never ever get them to look as nice as she did. But I've got these colours. I'm just thinking if I could just fill in just this area and be quite neat about where I'm going round. Do my, I want to say effect, whether it works as effect or not, I don't know, over the top of the jar, and then come back when I finish these two to finish the rest of the background. Don't know if that'll work. We'll start off. I might as well try. I'll just use, I've got this, can you just see here? Scrap paper. See, it doesn't, maybe I'm just really too heavy-handed with it, I don't know. Try and be a little bit lighter in my hands. See, that to me, it just looks messy. What if I just use the corner of this? Right, I washed these recently, so I'm hoping that this is clean. Yeah, this, I don't like that at all. Maybe I should use a darker colour and try and cover them up. I'll just put these back. It's hit and miss, isn't it? Sometimes it's not always going to work the first time. So I'll try a couple of blues instead. And just have a blue background. See how that works out. I think the trouble is as well, some of these, even though I store them like upside down, some of them are just dried up a bit. And I'm just not liking the colour payoff, I'll be honest. Like, with my normal tool, it is dirty, it's got a bit of green on it. You just get a really nice payoff of colour. I don't think the camera likes my hands wiggling around everywhere. Maybe just doing it like this will just have to be the way it is. I'm not worrying about washi tape or anything because I'm only going to do this section here. Let's add a little bit. I've got the sniffles since snipping out. I don't suffer from hay fever or anything, so I don't know what's going on. See, that's the colour that I like. Prefer this one. So these three colours, we've got the tumbled glass. This one that I'm using is peacock feathers. And then the darkest one is faded jeans, and I know that I like that colour as well. I'm not going to add any of that faded jeans just yet, but I keep these three colours together with this handy. And yeah, still don't like this, still don't know how to use it. That's just user error. And then with my Posca, this is, what size is it? A 0.7, so it is a teeny tiny one. Just test it on here. Yep, I've got to say it should be working well because I was only using it last night. Whoops. Just to add some highlights here and there. If you was wondering what I was listening to as well, it was House of the Dragon soundtrack on Spotify. Yep, I'm still obsessed with it. My husband will come in when I'm downstairs listening to me. Oh, what are you listening to? Just Game of Thrones. So I always go over the top with these. I think it makes the page. Doesn't matter where you're putting them. They don't have to be perfect. It's just fun to add them, I think. That was definitely not a straight line. I don't want to add any to this, do I? Because I want to try and, right. I think what I'm going to do, first of all, I'm going to pause the video and go and blow my nose. But I've got some gouache, some Winsor & Newton gouache. So if I really mix this down with water, but try and be careful how much water I'm putting down, and see how it looks. That's the plan. Now I've got a clean-ish tray, and it lastly had on this, so that's why I'll just use this tray again. Don't need a lot, it's only a small area. I did blow my nose, by the way, but now I've just got a stuffy nose. So I'm getting a normal watercolour brush this time. This will reactivate as well, like previous colour. I'm just going to test. See, that's a bit too opaque, I think. So add some more. Alright, so take off excess. Now I know that Distress ink hasn't totally covered up the boo-boos, but it is what it is. And this might even activate the Distress ink, I'm not sure. If I just go over the top, I'm just hoping that it doesn't activate anything. Keep your fingers crossed. I need more paint. Try and keep the coloured areas at the bottom. I don't want to be mixing all this. Let's clean my brush off again. Let's add another layer. I've just took the heat gun out as well, because I'm thinking if I dry, yeah, I can see it's pulling some of the colour up. If I dry in between layers, it might not pull up as much colour. Now, while I'm waiting as well for that bottom area to dry still. So I've just gone to edit this video, which is nearly 50 minutes long, and that last part did not record, and it's the portion that I did. It was a very thin watercolour that I did over the top of it, and I went over with the same Posca pen as the. I can only apologise. It's gone into the footage of disappeared things, that's all I can say. I know I clicked record, and then when I've transferred the footage over to my PC, it's just disappeared. It's completely disappeared. But that's how the effect turned out. It was literally that gouache mixed with a little bit of water, 2 layers, really thin layers, and then I just used the heat gun and then the Posca pen. I'm so annoyed. I'm so annoyed, so I do apologise. But yeah, there's not really much I can do about it. It was either quickly jump on and do this explaining part of the video or not upload. So yeah, the next part will be either of these two, but I'll get this video get this video, get this page done in 3 parts for you guys. So yeah, look out for part 2, and I hope that you enjoyed it, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.